Santelli. Get the Santelli exchange on this Friday. Hey, Rick.
Good morning, Carl. I'd like to welcome my last guest of the week, Lacey Hunt. Lacey, thanks for taking the time this Friday morning.
Great to be with you.
Listen, in your writing that I enjoy, you point out that since the credit crisis, global debt has expanded, not contracted, by $35 trillion. Boy, that doesn't sound like we've done a lot of deleveraging. Can you explain?
Well, basically, up until the crisis in 2007 to 2008, it was mainly the United States and Japan that were pushing the debt levels higher. The United States and Japan have moved it somewhat higher since then, but we've seen a massive leveraging in China and many emerging markets. And by the way, the debt, unfortunately, is a net negative. It's not a net positive. Debt's an increase in current spending in exchange for a decline in future spending. We're not going to solve this problem that we have by trying to take on more and more massive amounts of debt.
All right, now pursuant to that, let's go in a slightly different direction. I'm looking at the euro yield curve. It's negative out to 9 years. 9-year today flirting with negative yields. The 10-year Bund flirted with 5 basis points. That was the low yield I saw. It seems as we're going to go negative in 10-year Bunds. Is any of that significant, A, and B, is it going to help the conditions that you've just described?
I don't really think that it will help conditions. The interest rates, these longer-term interest rates, are really excellent economic indicators. We forget that. The short-term rates are controlled by the Fed, but the longer the maturity, it's really a reflection of market action. And when business conditions are good, inflation rates rising, the long-term yields will be going up. If business conditions are poor, then they'll drop. And the fact that the rates are negative in many parts of the world, very low levels, virtually everywhere you look in the world, it's a reflection of how poor business conditions are. And these depressed business conditions are a direct consequences of our excessive indebtedness, both public and private.
Well, it sounds to me like you're describing us all as frogs in boiling water, and we just don't know how many more degrees we can take. Now, given that comment, if you had an extra $1,000, would you allocate any of that to the fixed income market currently, meaning a 190 10-year? Do you think yields will be lower at various points throughout the next several years, given your hypothesis that debt's going to keep growth squashed down?
Well, we're in the fixed income management business. We can be anywhere on the Treasury curve. We have, a 20-year duration. We do not believe the secular low and long-term rates is at hand. And we think that actually we're not only going to see the rates move irregularly lower, but they're going to remain depressed for several years. This process is not coming to an end. It's dragging on. And for investors that are willing to be patient and ignore the short-term volatility in the long-term markets, they're going to produce a good return. And another element that's at work here, let's say that over the next several years, 4 or 5 years, the long rates, the 30-year rates, go down to 1.5%, 2%. And the inflation rate eventually goes 1% negative.
Wrap up, Lacey.
That gives you a 2.5% real return, which is excellent.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. Lacey, never enough time to talk about my favorite market. Thanks for taking the time.
All the best.